Hello everybody. Today I'm gonna give the first session of our online educational program under the Meta Olympiad. I hope we're gonna have some good times together. Welcome everybody. I wanna introduce myself very briefly. I'm Atilla Khan Yeriçi. I'm from Turkey. Now I'm working in Hong Kong, and I'm the head of the Metaverse Education. At the beginning of my journey in this Web 3.0 field, actually my initial position in the company, Meta Olympics Limited, was NFT designer. Yes, I love drawing, I love designing. It was my passion, my meditation, and my hobby. And then after I got an invitation and offer from our CEO, Christopher Lee, I accepted this offer, and then I tried to learn the box edit, the NFT design program that I'm gonna mention later in this slide, by myself. Because at that time, box edit was a very new thing, and there was not too much resources out there, and that's why I need to learn all the by myself. I need to master all the skills. That's why I'm believing that our educational program on how to use box edit, the game maker, should be better than the rest of the companies in the market because I'm using my personal anecdotes, the challenges that I face in our education as well. And then after I made many assets, 3D voxel art based NFT assets for our esports tournaments and game production, my position was shifted to the education. And I can remember my first workshop was in the HKU, one of the top universities in Hong Kong and around the world as well, the Hong Kong University. And then after that, I gave more workshops in Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, in renowned places in Hong Kong like Kelly Museum Shopping Mall and so on. And then we decided to make something about education to teach the people how they can create their NFT collection and their game experiences for the Sandbox metaverse. Because we know that there are so many companies in there and there's a lack of talent there. So I think education is gonna fix this situation and gonna create some workforce for the metaverse agency studios who are producing the game for the landowner, which I'm gonna mention even more later. So I already talked about like my experience in the like my career experience in the Web 3.0 already. So I want to show some of my works very quickly. These are some works that I made back in the time. I made some avatars for some of the singers that work with under a company, musical spots. These are some of the like the cool screenshots of our 3D mixed assets. So I made more assets for our game production. This is one of my demon characters. This is like a secondary demon character that I made in the games. So this is a collage of items I made for the game map. Like there are some like exotic trees, strange rocks, plants, crystals, and so on. And as you can see, like what you're gonna learn about the box edit, which I'm gonna mention it again. Uh, this is what you can do with this design program. You can create this all the cool assets with animations, of course. So this is another collage. This is a collage of assets that we created under the NFT and strategy department. Uh, I think it's one of the like the cool thing that we made. So let's back to the slideshows again. So I saw my the works, a partial of it, little bit to you. So you now you have the idea about like what you're gonna create at the end of this Meta Olympiad. And you don't need to worry if you think that these are like kind of complicated to create. Is I'm gonna teach you all the tactics, techniques, and strategies to create these high quality, complicated NFT assets for the sandbox. So I wanna uh, ask you a question to think. What is metaverse really? Because like in this first session, I'm gonna talk about the metaverse in general, the sandbox, what we're gonna do, and basically kind of orientation introduction for our meta implant program. So for the sake of our program, we need to know a little bit about what is the metaverse actually. So what is metaverse, right? Well, metaverse used to refer an imaginary science fiction world, a future version of the internet in a form of virtual reality, where people join through the VR devices. It's no longer it's just a matter of fiction. Many people are now working hard to bring it to reality. The current form of metaverse is not quite what we imagine it to be in the science fiction movies and is mostly in a form of a game that can be accessed through typical smart devices like smartphones and the laptops. Currently, we define metaverse as any virtual community space where users can create, own, and sell digital content on. So that's important to mention. So in the today's current market, current situation, we have some examples for the metaverses, like Decentraland was one of the earliest to launch as a 3D virtual space. Axie Infinity is another word focusing on playable characters within game rewards. But of course, I want to discuss about the sandbox. Among these words, among the metaverse that I mentioned, the Sandbox is the one of the leading and largest growing platform in the metaverse gaming industry. So just to give a rough idea of their current scale, these are the numbers of the players, creators, and assets already in the platform as of last year. As we can see, they have leading spaces, leading specs, and expansion among the metaverse platform. So this is a kind of a pie chart to show the Sandbox 2022 ecosystem. Uh, Currently partnered with many partners to expand the Sandbox platform. Once you look at the pie chart clearly, actually, it includes many well-known groups such as Adidas, HSBC, Warner Music, Gucci, Atari, Snoop Dogg. You'll probably able to see like some of the companies that probably you know already. So this is the power of the Sandbox in the today's current metaverse market. They already made so many partnership and IP deals with so many renowned companies in different, I mean, so many renowned companies in different countries. So now I'm gonna show some few examples of the brands that collaborate with the Sandbox and how, what is their success story, what they are doing with the Sandbox and so on. So this is the Gucci example. This is the case of the Gucci. Gucci was the collaboration between the Sandbox and the Gucci itself, where the Gucci opened a virtual showcase store in the Sandbox. So that's a video. So unfortunately, because of the sound issues, probably you will not hear the sound right now, but it's one of the videos to introduce the Gucci Wildland. So as you can see in the Sandbox metaverse, of course, I'm going to talk about the land, virtual land concept. But once you have a land in the Sandbox metaverse, you can create this all this construction. You can create this all this NFT asset right there, as you can see. And you can create games, of course. So this is the galleries of the Gucci World. And this is their partnership. Okay, so another case example is the Atari game. So Atari Game Jam. So as you know, like the Atari game is one of the like the big, well-known arcade game company, and they created their own game experience with the Sandbox actually. And in this experience, They let users to create their own experiences inspired from many of the classic Atari game uh, titles. Another case example is Snoop Wars and the Doggies. So everybody knows Snoop Dogg, right? And Snoop Dogg is actually made a great investment in the Sandbox and then with the collaboration with the Sandbox to create a really good game experience for the users of the Sandbox. Right now, this famous rapper Snoop Dogg create his own world. He uses to host his parties and other experiences. He even made a music video with some of the Sandbox clips of his world in the Sandbox as well. And this is a video of showing him his work. That's a kind of long video. I will not show every single part, but I want you to see the design. I want you to see the quality behind of the Sandbox. So this is the work. So this is Snoop Dogg's video that he made with the Sandbox to market his Sandbox work. You can check it out, this Snoop Dogg's music video on the YouTube as well. So let me go. Okay, so this is the Snoop Dogg's NFT collection. So of course, like you know that like there are so many NFT collections built in the open space, right? With like 10,000 pieces and so on. Actually, they achieved in the Sandbox as well with metaverse agency companies and some people who know this kind of stuff. They literally generate 10,000 pieces of 3D NFT assets of Snoop Dogg and his variations. And now they are selling in a very good price in the marketplace of the Sandbox right now. So this is another case example from the deadmau 5. So deadmau 5 is another famous artist for his electronic dance music and DJing. Also collaborated with the Sandbox to create this world to share his concert online in a new method. So there's another video of the introduction. The introduction of the deadmau 5's enter in the Sandbox. That's a relatively short video. So as you can see, like there are so many characters that are moving, right? So think about in the real life, these are all the users, like all the users coming together, listening to that Mao 5's concert in a metaverse platform, basically. Because examples is that The Walking Dead. It's a TV show, and The Walking Dead also made a collaboration with the Sandbox. And you could experience the thrilling survival in a zombie apocalypse through a virtual world. Imagine how it would be in the future, like when you could live out The Walking Dead through the immersive virtual reality. So this is another introduction video of The Walking Dead. As a user, you're gonna have a chance to play with Avatar as a first person to play in this ambiance of your maybe favorite TV show. Okay, so right now I show many examples, many like real life cases of the Sandbox and its collaborations. Like you saw the collaboration with the TV series, you saw the collaboration with the other game companies, you saw the collaboration with the music artists, you saw the collaboration with uh, like the fashion brand. So in conclusion, having a step on the Sandbox is actually much more than you imagine. Like once you have a virtual land, the versatility of the land and what you can do is actually immense. So in this all the examples, we saw different scenarios. Some companies open their NFT galleries to showcase the NFT version of their actual products. Some of them just hold their concert, not in a physical environment, but on the metaverse. Some of them just make their music videos and make their NFT avatars of themselves to market themselves even better. And so on. So these are like the versatility and experimentation with the virtual land in the sandbox. Of course, like I already named the virtual land a lot. Of course, you're gonna ask me what is virtual land, right? So all the experiences that you saw right now is actually built on the sandbox virtual land. So this is the map of the virtual land in the sandbox, and you can already see many brands already invested in buying the land. So right now, approximately there are 166,000 virtual land plots in the Sandbox metaverse. The companies invest to get the ownership of this land, and all the lands has a kind of like defined sizes. So if you want to have a bigger land, you need to buy even more land plots. And of course, some people ask me like, okay, you give me the approximate number for the virtual land, and like, is it like defined number? Can we change this number? No, you cannot change actually, because of the smart contract concept. The number of land plots cannot be decreased or cannot be increased. It cannot be changed. So actually, this situation makes the land plots even much more valuable because once everything is sold out, is everything is gonna sold out. And we saw the companies, like the big companies like HSBC, the Subway MTR station in the Hong Kong is another big company, Standard Chartered, Binance, Atari, like these companies wanna get a chance to step in this successful accomplishing the sandbox metaverse. That's why they didn't want to lose their chance and they just got the land plots immediately. Now they're experimenting so many things with their land plot. So the sandbox lands are also the assets that you can buy and sell, and you can make it into whatever you like game experiences, virtual parks, any kind of building constructions of your companies or of your business, NFT galleries to exhibit your NFT versions of your products, a meeting venue for the people to meet together, and so on basically. So this is the one of the screenshots that you can see on a classic virtual land plot. So the sandbox lets the creator do pretty much anything to be done within the lands, okay? Opening up all the possibilities of what you can do. From concert to committed space to museums, the possibilities are only limited by our imagination, which makes sense, right? Like literally, you can do anything as long as if you imagine correctly and if you execute correctly. So this is the OpenSea screenshot of the official the Sandbox account. So if you want to buy a land plot from the Sandbox metaverse, you can buy from the OpenSeas actually. So once you enter the OpenSeas, you're gonna see a collection of the land plots over there, and you can choose which one do you want to buy. So like I saw so many experiences, and of course, like you're not curious, like how do I join, right? How I'm gonna participate in all this? How I'm gonna create my own game experience and all the assets? Because like I know you are curious about like okay, these people like create all the games experiences, all the nitty but how I'm gonna do it, right? So this is the question that we are the answer actually. So under the Meta Olympiad online education program, during these sessions, I'm going to teach you how to make NFT collections and how to produce game experiences in the Sandbox metaverse, like the other experiences that you saw. So there are two main programs that were introduced by the Sandbox. Work with it and the game maker. So this is the Works Edit. Works Edit is a design program, design tool to create 3D NFT assets. And these 3D NFT assets can be usable as avatars, as NPC characters, as objects in the game map, and so on. And as you can see from this character, right? This orange character, there are some like a unique style happening there. Not like a 3D, like very polysurface structured character. It's actually made out of the cubes. So in today's world, once I told you NFT, you're gonna recognize some of the certain NFT collections, right? Like Bored Apes and CryptoPunk. So this CryptoPunk NFT collection, right? They utilize the pixel art and it becomes very famous. This is the 3D version of the pixel art. Instead of using the squares, we're using the cubes. And by using these cubes, by the way, every single cube is named as voxel. So if somebody told you voxelated art is actually cube-based art, so the voxel. So right now, I'm totally believing that right now and in today's metaverse and NFTs world, voxelated art is going to be very mainstream and is going to be a part of our popular culture and popular art as well. So that's why you're gonna utilize you're gonna utilize this voxelated art all the time when you make your creations. So this is a screenshot of the interface of a vox edit to just give you an idea like how it looks like. You can make anything actually. Okay, you can make anything with the vox edit. So there are few sections. One, you can create objects for your game map. You can create avatars with animations. That's the very cool part. Because when you check the other voxelated art-based design programs in the market, actually, uh, there is not too much animation options going on there. Animation is like very unique and very usable feature of the Vox Edit program actually. Also, like from my learning experience in the Vox Edit, I know that there are some YouTubers who are very good at making the Vox Edit based art. They use maybe like other programs, but at the end of the day, for the animation, they use the Vox Edit. And by every single update, the Vox Edit becomes even much more powerful. And Vox Edit, I think, should be learned uh, to create 3D NFTs that you can use in the sandbox. I think it should be a kind of like a vital skills for us. Also, with the Vox Edit, you can create not just the objects or animated NPC or the avatar characters. Also, you can create the blocks as well. And you can use these blocks for your game production too. So like, as you can see, this is like one of the official pictures published by the Sandbox Metaverse. And as you can see, this is what you can create with the Vox Edit actually. Like there is no limitation basically. Like you can create very complicated, very cool designs with the Vox Edit. So these are like the very famous applications of the Vox Edit in a design. Game Maker. So this is the second tool that we're gonna use. Game Maker is used for basically producing the game experiences. So with the Game Maker, you can decorate and design your virtual land plot that you own in the Sandbox metaverse. Like we talked about the virtual land already, but I didn't talk about like how we're gonna decorate it, right? I just talked about like how to make an NFT design, which is the asset itself. The Game Maker comes in at this point. The Game Maker is used to decorate the virtual land plots. So with the Game Makers, you can decorate, you can modify, you can change entirely the structure of your land plot. Of course, within the size of your land plot, like because every single land plot has a certain size. Uh, so within the limitation of the size, you can do whatever you want with the game maker. So this is an interface of the game maker. I want screenshot. So as you can see, these are the edges. This is like the limitations of your land plot. This is the size. And within that size, this is what you can do. Like that thickness, that surface area, you can do whatever you want. Any kind of modification on a virtual land, you need to use the game maker. And of course, you're gonna ask me, Attila, like, of course, like we're gonna use the game maker now. We know the works in it, but how are we gonna use all of them, right? These programs are work together. So basically, you're gonna create your NFT assets, objects, NPCs, avatars, and blocks, and then you can use whatever you created in the box edit in the game maker, and then you can modify your land plot. So that's a very cool thing. This program works perfectly with together. You're gonna create with the box edit, and you're gonna put your asset as a declaration for in the game maker, and we're gonna publish this game to your land plot if you buy a land plot, of course. Well, this is how the system works. You can create cool sceneries, maps, and games. So about the games, right? Let me show another screenshot of the game maker. So this is the library. You can see many pyramid objects done by the Sandbox already. But as I told you, since the Vox Edit program and the game maker works perfectly together, whatever you create in the Vox Edit, you can actually use in that library. You can just export to that library, and then you can use for your game production or for your map production for your land plot, basically. And yeah, like this is a really cool aspect of the game maker. You're gonna ask me like, do I need to know the coding? Because like as far as I can tell, like for making NFT collections or something like kind of like a game production, right? It requires coding, and these codings are really hard to learn. This is the robust aspect of the Sandbox Metaverse. Sandbox Metaverse offers two publicly open free design programs working on the game maker that don't require any coding or any IT experience at all. You don't need to know any kind of coding, or you don't need to come from any kind of coding background. Without coding, you can create your NFT collections and all your game productions easily. So of course, like let me show how this connection between the Vox Edit and the Game Maker works, and what this feature is all about. Quality assets. There are many ways to monetize your assets. First of all, one of the most direct methods to make money out of your assets is actually sell them on the Sandbox marketplace. And you can sell whatever number of copies you want at whatever price you decide. And game creators or other collectors can buy your copy of the asset to use in the game creation. So for whatever you create with the box edit is actually sellable on the marketplace of the Sandbox. Like think about the OpenSea. Also, the Sandbox has their own NFT marketplace. Right now, the famous brands like the Smurfs, Snoop Dogg, they already make their creations and they already launch their NFT creations in the marketplace. Now people can buy these NFT creations with the Sand tokens. Sand token is the currency of the Sandbox metaverse. So if you want to buy or sell anything, you're gonna deal with the Sand token cryptocurrencies, of course. Right now, Yeah, right now the individual creators will be able to sell their creations. So I want to talk about the agency partners. Instead of selling your assets on the marketplace, you can be the game creator themselves as well. You could be the Sandbox authorized agency, creating entire work experiences for the other companies and sell the service itself. By the way, in this screenshot, you can see this lady in the pink clothing. This is the Paris Hilton. Also, he is in the Sandbox Metaverse too. So these are the agency partners of the Sandbox. As you can see from the website, there are already various agencies offer services for the Sandbox platform. And with the enough skills and a talent, you can create join of one of these studios. Because like, of course, once you learn this Voxbit and once you learn the game maker, of course you wanna know how can I use in my career? How can I use for my future? If you achieve to master your skills in the Voxbit for the NFT production and in the game maker for the game production, you will be able to become a complete game builder. And being a complete game builder, you have a chance to apply and even get a job in this agency partners. And you can contribute to game experiences for the sandbox, and you can be a good part of this valuable moments as well. Of course, like the wild creators can directly sell to customers to earn money. The sandbox also provides direct funding with a budget of 1 billion, again, 1 billion American dollars to directly fund and support game makers. Any creator can apply for the funding. As long as if you have a strong team and if you have a strong background in the Voxel and the game maker, and as long as if you have a great idea in the game experience, and if you come up with a very good game experience, you can apply for the game makers fund. And you have a chance to get a partial fund from this pool. Like more than 12 million American dollar already funded directly by the sandbox to various creators already, design studios and agencies. And this is only 1.2% of allocated 1 billion American dollar fund. This could be your uh, this could be you as well after learning well with our Metal Olympiad online educational program. So one of the key elements of the metaverse is actually avatar creation. Uh, I just want to show like how the avatar looks like, how you can make an avatar look like this or even better with the box edit. Right now, I'm gonna use avatar creator options of the Sandbox website itself. So this is the Sandbox official website. By the way, uh, to make the connection between the box edit and the game maker, you need to open an account in the Sandbox official website. And once you open that, you need to connect your e-wallet. You can use MetaMask. After you use the MetaMask, you can connect to your account and you can have an account in the Sandbox. And I want to mention now, once you learn the box edit, you can create your NFT assets. You can publish to your own Sandbox account. And once you did that, you can use the same account that you created in the Sandbox official website for the game maker, and then you can use this published assets in the game maker to decorate your games, basically your land plot. So this is the official Sandbox website. Let's do some mini avatar, like in a small amount of time. So as you can see, if you want to check it out, like the avatar options that were given by the Sandbox in the Sandbox website, there are the options. You can be tourist, you can be angel, and so on. I'm gonna choose the Alan. Yeah, this is the Alan character, as you can see. This is the whole character, how it looks like. We can change any kind of skin tones. We can make it very unique. Yeah, let's make it blue. So we can customize the body parts. So I will go with the Antonio's face. He has a very cool mustache like me. We can change the clothing. I will prefer a clothing that looks very cool, of course. But I think I'm gonna stick with the Hawaiian shirt, which is already a good design in my opinion. By the way, like about this Hawaiian shirt, right? Let me go back again. Yeah. So like each voxel that I mentioned, like the voxel, right? The cube, the name of the cube that we're gonna use in the design. The voxel has certain measurements. So certain amount of voxel is equals to the 1 meter or 2 meter. So that's why once you make the creations, there are some limitation in the details. So if you want to make a very detailed project, you need to increase the size of the objects. And believe me, as long as you have the imagination and the creativity, we can increase the details a lot. So these are the account of pens. I'm gonna choose this one. And I'm gonna choose this shoes for sure. Okay. So why did I show to this avatar creation session right now, this small session? Because I want to show it to you. With the Vox edit, you can able to create these avatars. Right now, without knowing the Vox edit, this is only what you can do. Like there we have limited amount of options, as you can see. Still, we have somewhat limited amount of options. Once I teach you how to use Vox edit, you can make your own creations very differently from the samples. You can distort the measurements, the tall and the width of the guy, and then you can create many options as much as you can. And this is possible with the Vox edit. So let me go back my slide. Okay, so this is our weekly learning structure. So before each session, I'm gonna give you some materials to learn something beforehand. Because like in this Meta Olympiad program, I don't want to just like talk and move on because like my only sole purpose under the Meta Olympiad education online program is making you able to use the Vox Edit and the Game Maker and know something about the Sandbox materials in general. I literally want you to learn comprehensively and well. Because if you learn well, I'm going to be happy, of course, as an instructor, right? So I'm going to give some pre-learning and quiz materials before the classes. And you can check it out in your free time. You can learn before the classes. During the online classes, I'm going to give each online class interactively with the live class options. And with my experience created in my NFT design team, we're going to execute every single online class as a live interactive class. But don't worry, for the people who couldn't make on time for this like live sessions, we're gonna able to give recording as well, and you can check the recording. But of course, I prefer you to come for the live classes because you have a chance to ask me questions at that moment, and I think it's much more interactive to learn. And you can get the real-time support and the advice from our assistants as well. After each session, we're gonna give some small assignments and a feedback. So what's these assignments? Assignments are generally based on making the designs, like how able to use the workspace, the game maker, this kind of stuff. especially the works edit for this education program. And after we gave the assignments, we will not just like, tick, you did it, that's good. No, we will give the feedback as well. Because like how you can uh, improve yourself in this field is actually getting the feedback. I can remember my journey in NFT designing with this work edit in the Metallurgics Limited company. After I learned, of course, like I need to create something to practice my skills, right? So thanks God, I got the what I'm gonna create from the instructions of our game experiences. So for our esport tournaments, already they are telling that like what kind of structure I need to create. So that's why I can create very random structure that I didn't even imagine before. Of course, that's creating is not enough. At the end of the day, if you wanna get a chance to work in studios or in methodology companies, you need to have a a design mentality, an understanding of the box edit, and an NFT creation appropriate for the game experience, you know. So that's why we're gonna give some feedback to you, and then you can enhance yourself upon the feedback in your designs as well. Class B rebate up to 100%. Internship referral to the metaverse related job experiences also there as well. So we're gonna reward the goods assets with the refunds, rebate for class B as well, and we're gonna give some like referrals for the internship too. And about the feedback session, right? We're gonna give one-to-one feedback sessions. So about the session, once you complete the next 5 classes, you will be able to fluently create many different kinds of assets, and we will now show you just some simple examples of what you'll be able to do in this presentation. Yes. Right now, I'm gonna give the stage to our CEO, Christopher Lee. Wait a second. Uh, right now, I'm gonna stop my sharing because with my experienced assistant, we're gonna show the Vox edit. Let me open the stream. Okay, so as you can see, this is the interface of the Vox edit program. So my colleague is going to open. Yeah, so this is the animated section of the Vox edit. So this is one of our cool creations that we made for one of our original experiences under the Meta Olympics. This is the time that we made many esport tournaments actually, and this is the Space Bunny. So as you can see, these are all the animation options. You can create your own animations, plus you can use the Sandbox pyramid animations as well. So this is the rabbit, and this character that we're gonna open soon. We make this character for one of our partners. We made a collaboration back in the time, and they asked us to create their characters applicable for the Sandbox metaverse. So this is the God tier character. It's the God character. These are the animations, the cool animations. And let me tell you one thing: the Sandbox like provides ample amount of the templates, and each template has many, but many intricate animations. Okay, and you have a chance to use these templates and animations, and even you have a chance to modify very well. As long as if you make very good modification on the template in small amount of time, you can create very professional looking assets. Well, that's a very cool part. If you want, we can open the latest to show. Our so for one of our originals, besides the Space Bunny, also we made this creations. By the way, this creation is very big creation according to the measurement standard of the sandbox. Like it's very big because we made it or the decoration in the sky that the users, when they play with their avatars, they can see these big creations from the sky as well. So as you can see, there's a skeleton and there's a library part. Of course, during our teaching session, I'm gonna teach how to make wide and strategical skeleton structures. I'm gonna show what is library. I'm gonna show how to control and how to make configuration with different assets to make one compound asset. So let me mention one small thing. That's the animatable compound asset that it includes many individual structures. So actually, to make this thing, we made many assets, and then we just combine all together to make this configuration. Yeah, this is like an individual part. This is the solar panel. So we create the solar panel, we create other parts. And then in the 3D Cartesian coordinate, in this 3D space, we just put in a correct configuration to make this assets. So this is the actual difference compared to the Minecraft. Sometimes people ask me like, what's the difference between the Minecraft? It's also like cubey. That's the difference. Because like in Minecraft, whatever you create, it looks cubey, zigzag, and everything, right? But in the sandbox, once you created something, you can tilt the angle and you can make formations not look like non-cube at all. You cannot tell me that this looks like a Minecraft asset. It's not, but it's made out of cubes. And this is the powerful aspect of the Vox Edit design tool. So this is a small plan that we made for our game production. Back in the time, we made a game with a very cool story, and this is one of the plans that we use in the game map. Yes, so this is the game map related small plant asset. As you can see, there are different parts, and we just put in a different configuration to make it a one whole asset. That should be enough for you to see like what you can do exactly with the Vox Edit. Thank you for listening my part in this today's session. Right now, I'm gonna give the stage to our CEO, Christopher Lee.